8 car myths you probably believed. Rather like Chinese whispers, car myths get spread around, gradually becoming more and more stupid as time goes on. Whether it's a non-car guy friend, family member, or annoying neighbor who's told you one of these, they're usually based on a misinterpretation of basic physics. Let's get right into the video. Number 1. Using a phone when refueling will cause an explosion. One of the most common automotive myths is that mobile phones and fuel pumps don't mix well, often causing people, cars, or both to catch fire or even explode. While static electricity can actually cause fires on gas pumps, such occurrences are extremely rare and don't actually have much to do with mobile phones. If this myth turned out to be true, we'd soon be all out of fuel pumps because everyone uses a mobile phone of some sort nowadays. As ridiculous as this myth sounds, it stems from the early days of the mobile phone, where they had antennas which could occasionally cause a spark. These days, however, not likely. Number 2. Filling up your car in the morning saves money. By using the basic principles of physics, some people have concluded that it's better to fill your car up in the morning than later during the day. The reasoning behind this myth is simple. Liquids expand in heat, so in theory you'll have some more gasoline if you fuel your car early in the morning while it's colder, and then let the physics do its thing. There are quite a few facts that bust this myth, the first of them being that the fuel still has the same energy content regardless of slight increase in volume. Secondly, fuel stations store their fuel underground where temperatures don't vary much during the day, so there's no real difference whether you fill up during hotter or colder times of the day. Nice try, but it ain't happening. Number 3. Overdrive makes you go faster. While overdrive increases your top speed in theory, it is primarily there to help improve your fuel consumption by decreasing RPM. Overdrive is a gear system which switches you to the higher gear whenever it's possible, in order to decrease your revs. At lower revs, the engine consumes less fuel while running at the same speed. Everything about overdrive making the car faster is just an illusion, because you'll have to make your engine work very hard to reach higher RPMs on overdrive. Overdrive might sound like it's warp speed for your car, but unfortunately it's just a boring fuel-saving measure. Number 4. 3,000-mile oil change. A lot of mechanics tell you that you should change engine oil on every 3,000 miles. While that doesn't hurt the engine at all, it doesn't really benefit it much either. This myth was conceived by the mechanics who wanted to make some extra bucks by creating a need when there isn't one. How often should you change your engine oil, you might ask? Basically, it depends on the car, so the best way to find out is to consult your owner's manual. The manufacturer knows their cars the best, better than your local mechanic, so there's absolutely no need for you to change engine oil every 3,000 miles. You're probably not the smartest if you believe this anyway, but it will save you both time and money in the long run now you know. Oil nowadays is more advanced than ever too, so you'll still have a perfectly healthy engine and more money in your wallet. Number 5. Big SUVs are safer. The bigger the car, the better the safety, right? Well, not necessarily. SUVs are heavy machines, which makes them safer in theory, but harder to control in real life. Due to its weight, you'll find maneuvering and braking under high speeds much more difficult, and high-speed crashes are usually the most dangerous ones. Also, their high center of gravity makes SUVs prone to rollovers. Cocooned in the feeling that they're invincible, SUV drivers have been known to drive carelessly, endangering others on the road, especially pedestrians who are more likely to get killed by an SUV than a regular car. SUVs tend to have great safety equipment, but that doesn't make them safe because they're an SUV. You could get the same equipment in a compact car or even a sports car. Number 6. Jet fuel makes cars faster. The reasoning behind this crazy myth is that high octane ratings increase the engine's power output, but what most people forget is that jet fuel isn't anywhere near regular fuel, despite the etymology. In fact, jet fuel has quite a lot in common with diesel, so it will do absolutely nothing if you fill up your petrol car with liters of it. Even if you put jet fuel in a diesel car, it won't make any particular difference, apart from the fact that you'll need to additionally lubricate your engine. So don't try this at home because it will leave you disappointed. Also, you'll lose a few hours and quite a lot of money to have your gas tank, pipes and engine drained and cleaned. Number 7. You should avoid first-year production cars. This myth can be considered plausible when talking about cars that were built in the past, but today it's not exactly true. Modern safety regulations and quality control are so good now that manufacturers can no longer afford to mess up in the first year of production. Sure, as the model progresses through the years, there are always some improvements to the car, like new equipment and features, but for reliability's sake, evidence suggests first-year cars are not likely to be an issue. If you're buying a second-hand car, make sure it was always properly serviced. and don't necessarily judge it by its production year because that's unlikely to matter. Number 8. Leaving windows open harms MPG. Myths regarding air conditioning and MPG are some of the most pervasive ones, but are also the ones you can bust yourself. Over the years, research has proven that aircon has a tiny effect on fuel consumption, but the difference is so small that it really doesn't matter whether you have your air conditioning on or off. Older cars are more lossy, but anything in the last 20 years will be good. The other myth regarding fuel consumption and keeping yourself cool is that open windows harm MPG too. The physics behind this myth state that open windows have an effect on aerodynamics, which increases fuel consumption due to higher drag coefficient. Even I believe this one, but research actually suggests otherwise, under normal operating conditions of the car. Whatever you do to keep yourself cool during hot summer months, it's not likely to harm your wallet, so feel free to blast the AC or open all the windows, or both. So there you are, 8 common car myths, some of which you may have believed. What other dumb myths are there out there? Let me know in the comments below. I reply to everyone in the first 12 hours. Cheers!